This is the Swarm and Shoot Football Show with me, Manny Matsakis, the head football coach at Defiance College, where we feature Defiance College football and everything that influences our program. This show is brought to you by our friends at Big B Coffee, right across the street here on North Clinton Street. And it's literally right across from our offices. They do a fantastic job, and they support our program and this particular podcast. Get the finest coffee beverages in Defiance, as well as great pastries, breakfast sandwiches to start your day off and get a pick-me-up in the afternoon. Today's episode is number 27. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Here we go, baby. All right. Today, Lynn and I are going to talk about our program's plans for this upcoming semester when the players get back, and some of the new additions in our program and so forth, some of the things we're looking to do as we move forward into 2020 and make it the best year ever.
Yeah. Absolutely, Coach.
Yeah, we're fired up about that, and got a good Big B coffee to get this day rolling.
We did, yes.
Here we go.
Yes,
indeed.
Yeah. What are your plans? What changes happen here as the new year starts? Or the things that you're doing differently now with the program, Coach?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some exciting things happening right now. I mean, we in the next episode, we're going to interview our new linebacker coach that we brought in. So I'll leave that for that moment, so everybody
keep it a little surprise.
Yeah, which would be great. And I know Coach Johnson, Javon Johnson, is on your on the other podcast today. Right?
Yes, that's right.
For any of our local and even just our fans out there, you should switch over and check out the Black Swamp Football podcast, which will have Javon Johnson on there, our new defensive coordinator, and what he's got going on. So this is they both come out on the new year, and it's a double whammy of Defiance College football, right?
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Yeah. What's next recruiting-wise? Where are you at there? Where do you go from as you kind of head into the spring and the summer and those sorts of things?
Yeah, it's heavy right now. I mean, the month of January is significant for us because, like, literally right as we were talking, our coaches are getting geared up to do basically take from Defiance and just imagine our staff going to different regions on the way to what we're going to say the hub will be Nashville, Tennessee, where there's a lot of high school coaches going to be in Nashville during that time for the American Football Coaches Association convention. So prior to that, we're going to be recruiting in Cincinnati, Lexington, all the way as far as like Memphis, throughout the state of Tennessee. And so we're doing that all next week as we're doing that. So that would be the week prior to the convention, the second week of January. So that's the big push for us, because I think if we put a good week to 8 days in there of hard recruiting, we can follow up, reel in some new players that fit the system and so forth that we're running, and we should be able to come back when our players get in-house for the semester starting up, and then the recruiting campaign starts, where we have overnight weekends, and the first one of the new year is the weekend of January 24th.
Okay.
We have one there that we've got a pretty significant group. I know we've got over 40 to 50 new guys coming in for an overnight. So they stay Friday night, and Saturday we have presentations, what's going on in the program, and why their best decision would be to become a Yellow Jacket.
Yeah. Division I just had their big early signing. When does Division III, when do they like to have guys signed? Is it kind of a year-long thing, even probably goes into the summer almost?
It can. Traditionally what was happened is guys start to commit and put their deposits in after the first Wednesday in February, which is that second signing day that the big schools have. So after that, then usually that's when we start to get people say, hey, I'm in, here's my deposit in February, March, April, and May. Those 4 months are when there's a significant push. And for us, what's great about it is because we are offering roster spots by position, there is a sense of urgency, because there's a point where it's like, hey, look, we're going to bring in X amount of quarterbacks, so you need to get it get in because we're going to offer till we get the best guys we can. And when the number's done, we're done. We know how many total we want to bring in within the program. But, to give guys opportunity to secure that roster spot is just as important as major colleges where they say, here's this scholarship and so forth. The same thing.
Yeah. Your overnight coming up here in a little over 3 weeks. Do you know where all the regions kids are coming from? Kind of all over? Is it kind of what you had, in December when you had that big one too?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's even more far-reaching than that. I mean, I know we've got California represented, Florida, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, New Jersey's a new one. We've got some more guys coming in from the East Coast. I think Javon may have a couple guys coming in from Connecticut. So, I mean, it is I'm going to say at least 12 states represented.
Wow.
It could be as high as 15.
Wow. Is that unique Division III level for having overnights, or is this something that is starting to become more common in Division III?
Well, I think it just depends on the school and what they're trying to do. I mean, some places, they don't want overnights because they think I just know from talking to the coaches, they may get exposed in an overnight because you have a little less control. What are your players like? They're staying in, where are they staying? And a lot of places they just they bunk up. They're sleeping on the floor, they're sleeping on the couch and stuff like that. We're fortunate we don't do that here. We actually, our student life is fantastic because we have empty dorm rooms that are designated just for those overnight visits, and we've got pillows and and sheets and all that. It's done up. Every room is done up really nice. So guys come. It's almost like it's a hotel on campus overnight, which is different than, hey, bring your pillow and stuff and sleep on the floor or whatever. So I think for us, it's a feature. A lot of colleges, I just think they get concerned that they aren't going to show their best side with an overnight.
Yeah.
We think the longer we have them here in Defiance and they get to see the campus, be around the students and their professors and everything we've got going on here, and then we drive them over the bridge into downtown, as nice as that is now, we've got a lot to sell. So overnight visits for us, I mean, they're the key to our success because once they get here, what I've noticed is, and it's interesting, I got this from our new linebacker coach, okay? When he came up here to interview and we spoke, he was like, I was shocked how nice Defiance was. I had no idea, So we get that quite a bit when recruits come in, and especially if their parents come in. And that's a big sales pitch for us because once they see this, they're like, oh, I see why you're saying you're going to go in that direction.
What do you try to show them in this town? What are some things that you try to showcase that makes this Defiance special, Coach?
Well, other than the college, one of the neat things is Kirsty Mack with the Defiance Visitors Bureau comes in and she does a real nice presentation to share with everybody, not just Defiance, but the region, how many things there are out there for them to do. And, she's talking about everything from restaurants to, museums to go-karts to, stuff that I had no idea until I heard her presentation. And she does a fantastic job with that. So I think our parents and those student athletes or future prospects are very, very engaged in that. And then part of it is we take them I say over the bridge. It's like 3 minutes from where we are on campus. You just go over the bridge and, they see the rivers. It's picturesque. They see the downtown, all the great shops and everything. So we walk them down there. They check that out and they get a chance to see, Defiance, the city and how awesome it is and why a lot of people want to call this area home.
Yep. And I know there's also some possibilities of some transfers coming in here soon for you as well.
Oh, yeah. At this point, we've got we got a decent amount. Last year, we brought in 2. I think this year we're looking anywhere from 5 to 6 transfers coming in at mid-year. And actually, they're not all transfers. Some of them are guys that, were thinking about Defiance College to come in August. And, I don't know. They got this, I can't go away from home or whatever. And then they started watching our program, what it was going on, and then they decide, by the end of the year, after I think a few of them were actually watching the Bluffton game, and they said, "Oh, I want to be part of that," and then all of a sudden, boom, they put their deposits in. They got set class schedules. So we've got 5 or 6 at this point, and maybe more, that are going to be in here in another week when school starts. So I think that's encouraging. And, like I said, some are transfers, and some of them, a couple of them are, we've got some that have played with players on this current team. So they were high school teammates, and our players are saying, hey, look, this is where you want to come. We're on the rise, and it's going to be a lot of fun for you to come to Defiance College. And, probably as great a recruiters as we have on this staff, and I really believe we have the best recruiters at this level of college football. I no doubt in my mind we have some great coaches that are passionate about getting the right kind of guys here. But the reason it sells is our student athletes. It's like our players, when we get them on campus, they say, it's like, oh, this isn't just what the coach is telling me. They find that it's actually better than what the coach is telling me, because once they get on campus, they see the culture and they see the opportunity that is here for them to develop and find their life's calling and, along the way, play some great football.
Yeah, and there may be people out there listening that don't know how the Division III transfer. People know about the Division I. Is there any differences? Division III is kids can transfer kind of anywhere they want at any time. How does it work?
Some of these guys will be on the portal, believe it or not.
Okay.
Which is, it's as lately D3 guys will put themselves on the portal. But we have access to the portal. So we can look on there and see if there's somebody maybe from our region or maybe a teammate of one of our players. They say, hey, he's on there. And then we can contact them. It's easy to contact those guys on the portal because they've been, there's a release process because they're putting themselves out there for that. So that is one of the ways it works. I mean, in Division III, you can, if it's out of their conference, and every conference is a little bit different. But you can, for us, most cases, if they're coming D3 to D3, or maybe somebody says, hey, I'm going to University of Michigan as a student, and then I miss playing football. And they say, you know what, I want to play college football. So they contact us, and, they were a great high school player, but maybe not, not at the level of a Big Ten player, but they want to come here. So we'll get those, what we call bounce back guys like that, that can come in here and play. So that's, the transfer thing is wide open. I think for us, transfers are a significant portion of our incoming class, only because we have so few seniors next year. I mean, we're still in the process of building the roster. So a lot of freshmen are probably going to be playing again. Just like this past year, a lot of guys. And it'll be great to have, strong freshman and sophomore classes because of our retention. It's just our junior and senior classes coming up are smaller. So, if we can grow that through some transfers and so forth, then we can have a stronger roster. But ultimately, this is probably 2 years away from a full, big-time roster for this level that the great programs have.
Yeah. Before I let you go, when do you start looking at, say, juniors that are juniors right now? Is that something that you're already doing, or when does that process start, where you're looking at underclassmen?
Yeah, we get emails now on these guys. Yeah. So a lot of those guys, Coach Shank will just catalog them, sort of throw them into the pipeline. We actually do heavy junior recruiting when spring break hits for us. Okay. So it'll be like a March time, April, May. So there's a strange time at this level where when you go March, April, May, you're wrapping up this class and you're starting on the other one. So it's like
never ending.
It is never ending, but like I said, we've got great recruiters. So these guys understand that transition time that's there, and that's also the time you have spring ball starting. So it's like you've got all these different things dovetailing over each other that give you the opportunity to build a great roster, which I honestly feel that heading into 2020, we will have the foundation set to be one of the top teams in our conference going into years to come.
Yeah. thanks so much, Coach, for all the info, and there'll
Enjoyed
be
it.
more coming the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah. We're fired up. And once again, just want to remind everybody out there, after you've watched or listened to this, head over to that Black Swamp Football podcast. It is fantastic. And Lynn does a great job. And you got your man Tony on there every so often, right?
Yep. Glad we
Right,
don't have
Tony
Tony
Haynes.
with Jovan on this episode.
Oh.
That would be a problem.
It's
I wouldn't even be
Hawkeyes,
involved.
Wolverines, all those. Yeah, no doubt. But I know you will enjoy that episode as well. Javon's fantastic. I'm fired up that he's taken over our defensive coordinator position, and when those recruits come on campus, they're going to see why. We may be calling it the Black Swamp defense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Here we go.
I like it, yeah.
Who knows? Right?
Yeah.
We're working on what is that called? Branding it.
Yeah.
So I know we had a staff meeting the other day, and somebody said, "Hey, call it the Black Swamp defense." So yeah, I don't know, may have some
Swamp
legs
creatures or something.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, enjoy that with Javon. So that'll be fun. So thanks again, everybody, and want to let you know that we'll be here next week with our new defensive coordinator. Our new linebacker coach.
Yes,
will be on with us. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining us on the Swarm and Shoot Football Show. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure to subscribe in iTunes. Give us a rating and comment on the show. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the bell so you can get notifications when we release the next show. Feel free to comment below on this specific show. If you'd like to get all kinds of updates, go to our website at swarmandshoot.com, where you will be up to date on everything in our program. You will get this podcast from an audio version as well as the YouTube version, all on our website. You'll see feature articles on our current players and alumni, along with updates of everything that we can share with you that's going on in our program. Take a minute, subscribe with your email to receive regular alerts every time we update the website.